Welcome to part 2 of JoJo's Hospital. If you missed part 1, I would recommend that you pause this video and take a look at that to get up to speed. Again, I do have a free community for aspiring SOC analysts called the MyD4SOC community. So if you want to be surrounded with like-minded individuals working towards the same goal, I would highly recommend checking it out. Link will be in the description down below. Alright, let's continue on to part 2. This question says, whose credentials did the hackers use to access the hospital's network? Enter in the first and last name. Well, we know that they logged into Anthony Davis's account, so that is likely our answer to question number 1. Perfect. Going down here, what was the domain name observed in the sponsored search result? Taking a look at sponsored, we have raisincanes.com. But if we actually look at the website, or at least the title, it says raising. So it does have a G here, and we look at the domain and it has no G. That is quite fishy. Type in raisincanes.com. And also, it's with a K rather than a C. What is the legitimate domain for Raising Canes? That is the bottom here, raisincanes.com. How many web requests do we see going to the fake Raising Canes domain? All right, what table do we use? We want to use the outbound network events, where the URL has the domain called raisincanes.com. And we got 26 records. That is going to be our answer to this question. How many unique employees were seen browsing to the fake Raising Canes domain? I'll type in where source_IP, or actually, no, we don't want to do where. Instead, we want to do a distinct because we want to know individual employees. We want to know the unique count, and 24. Which of the malicious domains used for redirection starts with the word nothing? All right, let's remove our distinct source IP and we'll say where URL has nothing. And if we look at the first event from the top, we have the URL. Double click into that. We can see that there is indeed a redirect, and it's going towards nothingtoseehere.net. And that is going to be our domain of interest. Which of the malicious domains used for redirection starts with the word totally? And we can either scroll down and find it, or we can replace the word nothing with totally. And again, clicking on the first event from the top, we have totallylegitdomain.com. What is the name of the docx file they are redirected to? What I'll do is move this just a bit and we'll expand the URL column and take a look. We have voucher.pdf. There is a Raising Cane promo offer.docx, and I believe that's about it. So I am going to go with the Raising Cane promo offer.docx as my answer to this question. What is the name of the PDF file? That we just saw right here, Raising Cane free meal voucher.pdf. And by the way, just because it has a .pdf and a .docx file extension does not mean that it is actually a PDF or a document file. Just something to keep in mind. After gaining access to the computers, the attackers dropped a specific malicious file to maintain control. This file helped them run further commands and do more damage. This tactic, by the way, under the MITRE ATT&CK Framework Enterprise is called command and control. We can find the malicious file that got dropped by focusing on just one victim. What is the hostname of the first person to download the suspicious docx file? Taking a look at the query provided by KC7, it instructs us to go into the file creation events, looking at where the file name equals to the docx file. Since we already got some experience by typing it out, I am just simply going to copy and paste it. And because we are only looking for the hostname, why don't we do a distinct hostname? And wow, take a look at that. We have 23 records. But the question is asking for the first person to download the suspicious file. All right, so what I'll do is actually comment this out and let's sort it by ascending order and take a look at the first machine. This is RQJQ-machine. This is going to be our answer to question number 10. And just out of curiosity, who does this belong to? And I am going to look under the employees table. This belongs to Eva Brown, who is a lab technician. Okay, let's put that in there. Eva Brown. The IP is 10.10.0.231, and the role is lab technician. Let's go back up and rerun the command, and let's answer question 11. When did this download occur? This occurred on May 1st at 9:56:50 a.m. What was the SHA-256 hash of the file? This one right here, starting with BD8, ending in 712. Which browser was used to download this file? Look at the process name, and it shows Chrome. So Google Chrome was responsible for downloading the file. If we take a closer look at files that get dropped on that victim host, we find a malicious.exe file gets dropped immediately after the docx file is downloaded on the 1st of May. What was the name of the malicious file dropped by the attackers? Let's change up our file creation events to only point to the host name of rqjq-machine. And remember the time, 9:56:50 on May 1st. 9:56:50. Well, let's sort it by ascending order. And right after our docx, our second entry, we have Cobalt Strike. Nice. This is located under the C program data directory. For those that don't know, let's take a look. Cobalt Strike. This is a threat emulation tool. Cobalt Strike is a commercial red team and post-exploitation tool used for adversary simulation and network security testing. But it is also frequently misused by cybercriminals. All right, going back over to KC7. What was the name of the malicious file? This is called Cobalt Strike. Which command shows the execution of the Raisin Cane promo offer.docx file? Which command? So it's looking for the process command line. All right, I am going to copy the hostname, and we want to use the process events table. And let's change our timestamp between date filter to May 1st, all the way to May 2nd. May 2nd. And it's asking for the Raisin Cane. We can actually uncomment the where, and instead of ransomware, which is what we used in section 1, we could say contains raisin. And there you go. This right here is our process command line of interest. Go ahead and copy that and paste it in. Perfect. Now, just as an FYI, this process command line shows you evidence that Windows Word, aka Microsoft Word, was responsible for opening up this particular file. So that is how you read that here. Soon after the docx file is executed, we can see that the threat actor is using Cobalt Strike to connect to an IP address. What IP address do the hackers connect to using Cobalt Strike? Okay, let's replace Raisin with Cobalt Strike. And we can see the process command line showing the IP address of 93.238.22.122. And this is going towards port 550. Over what port did the hackers connect to? Well, we just answered that, so that is 550, aka 50,050. The next day, the attackers woke up and realized their malware had done more than expected, and now had access to the hospital's network. They began to manually issue discovery commands to gather information about the network. These short commands help them learn about the network setup and discovery. By the way, discovery is the tactic of the MITRE ATT&CK enterprise framework. And looking at the timestamp, we have May 2nd to May 4th. So let's comment out our Cobalt Strike and adjust our time filter. And let's take a look. Right away, I do see some discovery commands, and that is this right here. We have system info, ipconfig, netstat, netuser, and netlocal group administrator, along with netview. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there were 6 discovery commands that were being used. Now, if you're wondering, well, Stephen, what exactly do these commands even do? Well, instead of explaining, why don't I just show you? So if I open up command prompt and I type in system info, This is going to show us information about this particular system. So the system that I am on, it will contain things like our IP address, network adapters, what kind of updates that we have, the logon server, just basic information about my system. We have ipconfig/all. So I'll type in ipconfig/all. This will provide us with information about our network adapter. Here we have Ethernet adapter, Hyper-V firewall. We have a VMware network adapter, another one here. There's Wi-Fi, etc., etc. Whereas if we go into netstat-an, this will show us all of the TCP UDP network connections. Here we can see that there are some established connections. There is listening, close wait, and time wait. For net user, this will show us information about the users that are currently on our system. We have administrator, we have Steven, default, WDA, and guest. Then we got net local group, administrator. Now this is going to say the specified local group does not exist, but essentially what this command does is take a look at the administrator group and see who's within it. Finally, we get into net view. Now what this command does is that it's going to display a list of domains and computers that is being shared. And because we don't really have anything, we do get an error here. And it says the list of servers for this work group is not currently available. But essentially, those are your discovery commands. What was the first discovery command issued by the hackers? That is going to be system info, because if we follow the chain of events here, we can see system info being invoked here. Now, if you want to learn more about these, I would highly recommend that you head over to the MITRE ATT&CK. So MITRE ATT&CK, and you want to go into Enterprise and take a look into the discovery. So this tactic right here. I would recommend that you go in there and read up more about it. That way you can understand the objective of the attacker for this particular tactic. All right, let's click into submit. Question 19, how many of these short discovery commands did the attackers run? That was a total of 6. The next question, what is Anthony Davis's host name? That we actually got back in section 1. And did I not write it down? Oh, yes, I did. Okay, cool. It was this right here, AMFB-machine. When did the attackers connect to their IP address using Cobalt Strike on Anthony Davis's machine? Okay, let's go into the process events and we'll replace this one with Anthony Davis's machine. And I'll put a squiggly line there. And let's uncomment the process. And let's go into May 1st. Okay, we don't get anything. What if we comment out the timestamp instead? Because we don't want to always be bound to the time. And there you go. Cool. Let me go ahead and comment out the distinct. And when did this happen? Process command line. This occurred on May 14th at 12:24:45 p.m. Cool. Question number 22. Once they got on Anthony Davis's machine, the hackers wanted to get a better understanding of the entire hospital network. So they downloaded an advanced scanning tool. What was the name of the scanning tool? And taking a look at the time frame, we have the 13th to the 17th. Let's adjust that accordingly here. Change the 1st to the 13th and the 14th to the 17th. Let's go ahead and comment out our Cobalt Strike and uncomment the distinct process command line. We are looking for a scanner. And actually, what if we replace Cobalt Strike with something like scanner? Ah, there you go. So no need to work harder, work smarter. This is our tool of interest, the advanced IP scanner.exe. And let's paste that in. Awesome, I just reached level 16. Let's go. What was the name of the file the attacker exfiltrated to learn about the network? It is a PDF. Well, replace scanner with PDF. Do we have anything? And it looks like we do. So the first entry, we have a cmd.exe. They're copying the network diagrams PDF and putting it over to the network share of JoJo Hospital under the directory of backup and naming it the same name. But there's no signs of exfiltration. That's just copying. What we can do here is instead of saying distinct, let's take a look at the timestamp. This occurred on May 16th at 11:25:08. Let's keep that in mind, 11:25:08. And if we scroll all the way down, 11:25:08, this right here, if we take a look at the following events, if exfiltration did occur, we should be able to see it here. So they're copying credentials, and then they are compressing it via PowerShell. And afterwards, look at that. At 5:16, 1:39:48 p.m., they are running a curl command where they're uploading essentially the important network info.zip over to nothingtoseehere.net. Very cool. So there is definitely some exfiltration here. And looking at the question, what was the name of the file the attackers exfiltrated to learn about the network? That is very likely going to be our network_diagrams.pdf. Copy that and paste it in. What was the name of the file the attackers took that would have contained usernames and passwords? That is our credentials. Yeah, right here. Question number 25. What was the name of this zip file? We actually did find that, which is called this, important network info.zip. Which domain did the attackers send the zip to? Well, kind of sneaky, nothingtoseehere.net. And finally, question number 27. You just investigated a 2-stage attack on JoJo's hospital in Lexington, Kentucky. First, SharkFin7 used a fake advertisement to trick the hospital employees into downloading a malicious file. By the way, this is a play on the actual threat group called Fin7. So if I type that in, Fin7, whoops, not Fin700. There you go. Fin7, also called Carbon Spider. This is a Russian criminal advanced persistent threat group, aka APT. Once inside the network, they moved laterally, stole sensitive data, and then sold their access to the Lockbite ransomware group, which by the way is a play on Lockbit. And then afterwards, they used that foothold to encrypt critical hospital files and extort the hospital and its patients. All we need to do from here is type in yay and click into submit. And there you go, you just completed JoJo's hospital. Congratulations on completing this lab, and I really do hope that you learned something new and are getting a lot more confident in your KQL skills. As a reminder, I have a free community for aspiring SOC analysts called the My D1st SOC community, and I do hope to see you inside one day. That is it for the video, and I hope that you found that informative. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe if you want to. Remember to stay curious and do things differently.